What's happening, everybody? Another episode. Thank you for joining me. This time we are going to make a lot of progress. Actually, you can tell by the length of the video. Doing the dash install, the center plastic install, the rear quarter inner panels as well. So we have a lot of things to do in this episode. So I'm not going to hold you up any longer. Let's get it started. Real quick here, I'm just gonna install these rear quarter inner pieces, and they just clip in. Pretty easy to install. Alright, there it is. This is the SR5 style. It's okay, but I like the GTS style better because this is left exposed on the SR5 style because the seat will come up and curve around like this, but on the GTS model, this part will actually come around and hide that wheel well. So I don't know, I guess it's kind of a bad design, really. I don't even know what goes there instead. Maybe it looks like so they put some carpeting there from the previously. So that's probably what I'll end up doing, or maybe if I get lucky and find a GTS panels, then I'll switch it out. But here it is for now. Looking good. Just needs a little cleanup, but can't complain. I guess I can put this seatbelt thing back on. Seatbelt guide. And here it is real quick with the seatbelt guide in. Alright guys, real quick, here's a look at the back side of the dash. I went ahead and put this piping in. Maybe I should wait until I put the dash in first, but I'll probably take this piece off again, but I'll leave this in and leave this in. And I'm also going to put this back in as well, which is this piece right here. But I was just basically what I was doing, taking it apart, was checking these foam on the outside of the pieces. Make sure they're nice and spongy still, foamy. Sometimes they'll harden up and then they'll just kind of just crumble right off. But this one seems to be still in pretty good shape. It would probably best for me to replace it with new foam, but I don't really know where to get it, and I'm just not gonna mess with it since it's still, still in good condition. And there's some on the side there. Oops. I hate it when my phone changes like that. I need to. So basically, what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna clean this up. You see all this dust? I mean, it's pretty thick, and I don't want that blowing throughout the cabin. Of course, it's probably to stay in there, but because it's stuck in there. But it's nice to have a nice clean, clean dash whenever you put it in there, especially throughout your airways. So I'm just gonna vacuum this and hopefully wipe it off. Hopefully it'll come off. Might have to take this freaking bar out to get this back in there. That's real, man. Real quick, this right here, the foam on top of that is very disintegrated, so what I used was some felt that you can buy at Lowe's. Comes in a roll like this, and I just cut it to size and placed it on here, and that will help seal it a lot better, and it will you know, do its business more efficiently. Thank you FF Mayhem for recommending that in my previous video. Went ahead and took advantage of that. So anyways, just want to show you that. If there's any foam missing, you know, there are alternatives that you can do to help your situation. And here's another spot that I did it in this opening. I put the felt all the way around, so hopefully that'll help it out quite a bit. I think it will. Alright, here it is, the bar's out. Nothing's ever easy, it seems. But now we're finally going to put this defrost piece back in where it belongs. Seriously, I can't believe someone went through that much trouble to remove that piece. It probably weighs not even, maybe a pound. You know, if even. You know, I mean, the things that people do with their cars, I just don't understand it. Anyways, I guess we'll get this bolted in and move on to the dash. All right, I got that piece bolted in. Here it is. I also painted up here because it was really faded, and can't hardly see it, but where I matched off the VIN. And don't worry about the, you know, the windshields will be replaced anyway, so I wasn't too concerned about getting paint on it, as you can see. But the main focus here is I wanted to show you this part right here. Remember I put the felt on the top here, and look, there's still a good gap here, a 1/4 inch to almost a 1/2 inch gap right there. So that's you know, I got it bolted up right there. If I lowered it down, it would be too far. It wouldn't look right up from up top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this felt off right here. I should be able to just yank it off from here without taking this piece off. And I'm going to put tape around, some like good Gorilla tape or something like that, you know, to seal it off like that. And the reason I'm going to take this felt off is because I don't want it to fall off and get stuck up in there. So so basically I'm just going to tape it around and seal it off that way. Alright, now we're gonna put this bracket in, center bracket, bolt it in. Looks like it'll, yeah, looks like it will go just like, no, yeah, like this. There. This part clips. There we go. All right. This arm right here is for the glove compartment. All right. And let's not forget, I guess I need to double check that HVAC system, the ducting. There's another piece right here, clips in to that piece that's the defrost piece. And what it is clips in right here, and then you screw it on right there. And it's for, on the dash, it's that little square piece that's up in the top right corner. So let me get this set in. That perfect. And then, oh, not like this. There we go. Now I just need to screw that in. Okay, and here's the dash. I just got it sitting in the car. But here's that the other side from that piece that we just did over there. But we're gonna have to leave this one in because it screws in. It screws in. There's a screw down there, and if I put the dash in, I won't be able to get to that screw because obviously I can't get to the back side of the dash. And this right here will just clamp into this piece right up here, and I'll be able to get to it through the hole right here. So it shouldn't be a big deal. So let's go ahead and get this thing finally set in. It's got just sitting up in there. Look at all the cracks in my dash. Oh, that's nasty. But I got something for that, so don't worry. But for now, you see right up in here, this is where the dash, this was on the dash already, and there's a little groove right there for that. Same with this side right here. It fits in like this, and it bolts, that just holds it in. There's a bolt hole down here that lines up right there. And let's go take a peek at the other side. This is all pretty exciting for me because when I bought the car, the dash was not in. Actually, I didn't have a dash. I had to order one used. Well, obviously used, but I had to order one because this one did not come with a dash, so you know, so this is the first time that I've seen this car in person with the actual dash in it. Well, it's not in it yet, but you know, it will get there. And so yeah, we got these pretty much same thing over here. Bolt hole lines up with this up here too, in the center right there where the clock is. Okay, I just did little basic things. I secured the dash you know, to the car, as you can see with the bolts there. I still need to do these right here, and I got some bolts and washers right there. I put the speedometer cable in right here. I guess it just depends on if you have a I don't know if the Koki style is the RPM, the tachometer is on one side, or reversed on the from the Zenki style. I'm not really sure, but it seems like I've seen those online, but I'm not really sure how they differ. I know they probably from the JDM spec or Euro spec or Australian spec, AE86. I'm sure they're all a little bit different, which is strange. But anyways, yeah, I just gotta, you know, I put this connector right back there. You know, on the light switch and the windshield washer switch, there's a light that looks like this, and it mounts right here, right there. I need to get another one of these because I only have the one for this side, but I would like to get the one for the washer, for the windshield washer as well. So I guess I'll just go ahead and install this right like that, and hopefully I'll be able to find another one pretty soon. Okay, I gotta install these switches first. So right here, this is the headlight switch right here. I don't have the knob on for now just because, but it looks like you just feed it up in here and like that. Wiper motor, similar situation here. Go ahead and connect it. There we go. Take this off to get the plastic bezel piece on. Okay, now here's another thing that just kind of slows you down, you know. I need to fit this in there in the cockpit before I put that plastic piece over, and also need to do the gauge cluster. So I'm going to, if you look at this condition, this is not gonna cut it. So I'm going to clean this up and look at it looking real nice. So let me show you that process. Okay, basically I've just kind of cleaned it off, you know, just with regular water and little dish soap. And you can see it's got these scuffs on it. Anyways, so what I'm going to do is to try to get those blemishes out. We're going to use some of this plastics by Meguiar's. They're okay. It's mainly for actually it's for any kind of plastics, I guess, which is you know, stuff like this. So should be safe. I've never done it before. And I got a buffing and polishing pad. I got this at Lowe's like 3 years ago, maybe even longer than that. I forgot I had it, but I was digging around and I found it. So I'm going to try it out, see what we can do. And I took this little center piece out right here. It's a little rubber O-ring or whatever. Just set that to the side just so I don't damage it with the buffer. All right. Got some water on it. It's good to always kind of dampen it a little bit because this pad is going to be really dry. So I put a lot on there. So now I'm just going to rub it around. Didn't get all of the, didn't get those big markings out. Probably need to use like a 1000 grit sandpaper on that to get it out. Yep. All this is right here. That's on the inside. But it was good for it too, just to do. Because it needed it. Alright, I got a bucket of water and some soap, and here's some 1000 grit. Got a little too much soap on there, but 1000 grit here. Let's try this again. This time I'm just going to kind of focus on those areas. No, I've never done this before, so you know, try at your own risk. Here's another area right here. I guess the good thing is you get to see if I screw it up or not first. Is after I've sanded it with the 1000, got most of it out that I can tell, and I got some good hazing over here. I went to actually went down to the 600 to try to get there's a couple more spots here that I wasn't able to get, and I still can't get them, but so I'm just gonna leave them. I don't want to go any lower than 600, and you know, risk anything. So this is always the part that makes me nervous, because it's like, what if it doesn't buff out, you know? Look at that, it looks terrible. So now I'll just have to, I have from 1,000 I'm going to go to 1,500, and then 2,000, and maybe 2,500. I don't know. I probably won't. I'll just go to 2,000, and then I'll try buffing this out again. All right, here it is. Haven't polished it yet, but I've taken it to 2,000 grit sandpaper, and I'm pretty nervous actually, because I don't know if I can get to all these areas in here, getting in areas where the buffer might not fit. I have another smaller one, but I don't even know if that is going to fit or not. And I was thinking I could take this off, but it doesn't look like it just pops off. It looks like there's probably some adhesive or something on that. So I don't know. I'm going to try to get to it all, and if not, I might have to resort to trying to remove this with like a heat gun and see if I can get that adhesive to release a little bit. So, all right. Okay, here it is. Final product here. Looking pretty good. It's not perfect. I couldn't get those scratches out right here all the way, but I got it looking a lot better than it was. I got that one that was down here, which was just a scuff. Over here now, I kind of nicked it right there. I had to use my Dremel actually with the polishing pad on there to get up in these corners, right up in here. And I ended up nicking it somehow right there in a couple spots, so that's a bummer right there. But all in all, it looks a lot better. I'll put up a before picture. Obviously, you know, it wasn't clean, but I mean, it was really had a bunch of crud on it, which wasn't really what I was trying to clean off, but I was trying to get these scratches out. But it does look a lot better than before, so I'm happy with it. So anyways, we'll move on. Finally. All right, here we go. I'm going to put the cluster in. I think that goes in first. Looks like it might work, so we'll go ahead and try it. Let's see. Looks like if I just that. Okay. Oh, I forgot about the speedometer needle back there. Hopefully it'll just slide in without too much. Oh, I think I got it. Yeah. All right. I guess I'll just have to trust it because I can't see it. So pretty straightforward here, it looks like. Just four screws, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, I just did that. I realized I didn't have the record button on. I put the front screen on. it just slides right in. No big deal. And then the 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I put those on. Sorry about that. I didn't realize the camera wasn't recording. I'm not gonna take this out just so I can do that for you. It's just a no big deal. I mean, it wasn't a big undertaking or anything, but here it is, sitting in there, looking good, looking good. Wow. All right, now maybe Now maybe we're ready to put this plastic piece in. Well, let me put these in first before I forget. Alright, now I just need to do the 1, 2, 3 mounting bolts there, or their screws, and do the 2 screws down here on the bottom, and then we'll put our switches in. I'm going to put these switches in. Alright, I got these 3, I know what they are. Well, what the heck is this one all about? That one and this one right here. I'm guessing this is the cruise control, but I'm not sure entirely. I don't have cruise control, so I guess I won't be using that, but well, let's see. Let me go ahead and set that in there. I guess this one's here. This would be easier to connect first. Duh. Alright, I've come to the conclusion that whoever designed this and all these and that one back there and this one that comes down here, they are evil. Man, I'm telling you what, I couldn't film that because I used so many 4-letter words that I did not feel like editing all that out. But basically, it was me cursing at this thing and doing what should have been a fairly straightforward process, but it's amazing how stiff these cables are. I mean, there's just no play in them at all. So anyways, what I did was, and it's not perfect, and in fact I wanted to film, I wanted to show you what I did, but I had already screwed it in and I really don't feel like taking it back out. I forgot to film it. But what I did was this handle right here, where it pivots back behind here, it broke obviously, and these two they're attached. They go through the same pivot. So I used zip ties to fix that, which is actually a common fix on these 86 switches, because these cables, they get so stiff, or the metal in there, it's just a wire. It's not a braided cable or anything, so it'll eventually stiffen up on you, and it gets to where this is so hard to move, and eventually it breaks the pivot spot back there. Also, where these are attached to the HVAC unit, those break as well. So it's really just a really crappy design. And there was one that comes, a wire that comes from down here and makes a hard curve back up this way. I don't even know where it connects to, but I just took it off because I turned on my fan system and everything, and I couldn't really tell a difference of what it did. It wasn't the defrost, because this one is the defrost, and I tested it out to make sure. This one, the recirculating air or the fresh air, I've got it set, and I'm just gonna not even mess with those. This is the only one that the switch is the only one thing I'm gonna mess with, and it's electric. That just turns it off and on, and the AC. I've got this thing set to cold, even though it doesn't look like it, because the cable doesn't want to go too farther, and I don't want to break it. But with that, you can do this manually under the hood. You go to that heater valve, and you just open and close that valve. So for now, I'm just going to leave it on cool the whole time, and hopefully that'll work. So anyways, I guess that's about it. Another thing is I had to take this bottom part off again and loosen this up so I can hopefully get this piece in. You have to put that piece in first because it goes behind this area, and if you can't get it behind, then you can't really get it past this curve right here because it's so close. So that's another note to make. Anyways, stay tuned for more. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and put this clock in. I have the bezel here, and here's the part number for it. You can still get these from the dealer. $7 from the dealership. So, you don't have, I know there's some people online that's like have them for sale for like $25 or 30 bucks. You can go to the dealership and get OEM part $7. So, that doesn't include shipping though. But if you order a bunch of other parts at the same time, then it cuts down on the shipping per item, and you get 2 nice little mounting screws there as well. So let's go ahead and plug this in and see how it looks. Whew, a little stubborn. Oopsie. Alright, set that in place like like that. Okay. Well, got a little gap right here for some reason. Well, I guess it's gonna have to do it because the screws, there's no adjustment in the two mounting screws, so I don't know, but it's not bad. It looks good. All right, and since I took that black cable out from the HVAC system, what I was gonna do is, I think what that does is it separates, it will close off from getting heat from the oh, what do you call it? Heater core. So I think, anyways, but I'm not quite sure. Anyways, I'm not really sure what it does, but if I need to get to it, what it does is it controls this arm right here, and you can always just from here, and then where the glove box will be here, and you can reach up underneath here and just move it like this. Just move it back and forth. So I will be able to adjust it if I need to. I doubt I'll be doing much with it. So, but anyways, if I need to mess with it, it's there. So that's about it. Another thing is, like, man, it was crazy because I went on eBay last night and I found the light that actually goes for this. That's back behind it. I have the one for the headlights, but there's also one for this, and I didn't have the socket or the wires and the harness, so I found all that for pretty cheap. So I feel pretty lucky about that because I've never seen one before. Maybe I guess I just wasn't really looking for one, but anyways, and also I found the rocker cover, believe it or not, and there was only one available, and it was the passenger side one. So I feel pretty lucky to find that, and it wasn't too expensive. So ran into a little bit of luck there, so that's great. Next, I just need to get the sunroof cover, and I have a guy, but he's in Canada, so hopefully he'll come through for me. You know, but if not, it's not like a something that you have to have, but it would look nicer with it. By the looks of the pictures, it looks like it would have to be reupholstered anyway, but still, having one, at least I'll have something, to work with. So I'm pretty happy about that. So, oh, and I do have a mirror. The mirror is from the same guy, so hopefully, things will come through. The glove compartment, I probably will leave out right now because I don't have the striker in order to close it. I have this piece right here, so I don't really know what it's supposed to look like or anything. I'll have to do some more research on that, but for now I'm just going to leave it out because it will just be flopping up, flopping and open and closed. So anyways, let's see. I guess we're going to move on to the center pieces now. Alright, get that bracket in. Now I'll be able to put, there it has some screw holes that go from this side and the other side, so we can mount this piece right here. Looks like I have to put the shifter boot on first. Alright, so let me put these bolts in, 4 bolts, 2 and 2. Alright, there it is. The boot it is in. One of the reasons I got this car. No, I'm kidding. It's one of the, but I was looking forward to this boot. I love this style right here. Reminds me of it's so 80s, you know. But I'll set this in, and on the bottom, the first I don't know what you'd call that, step, I guess you'd say, hugs this perimeter right here on this piece. So we'll set this in, and we'll see what we can work with here. Okay. Try to feed it through. Nice and easy. First one. Okay. There we go. There we go. Hey guys, I have to apologize. Whenever I was about ready to install this, my phone completely ran out of memory. So I did not get to film the installation of this center console. It's real simple though. You just slip it on and it bolts in right here and on the other side, and then right here and on the other side as well. 4 bolts that holds that in. Alright, so it's pretty easy. It wasn't nothing too complicated, but let me show you. As some of you might have seen, you know, I have the hydraulic brake. So I did have to modify this inside. I kept it out here. I didn't want to modify the outside because I wanted it to look like stock, you know. But if you open this up, you have a very unsightly result of me putting in the hydraulic brake. I wasn't a big fan of having to do this, but because I have a different rear end on this car, a 7.625 out of a GM, the emergency brake cables aren't the same as the AE86. So instead of having to mess with the cable lengths and everything, I just did a hydraulic brake instead. Here's what it looks like, and if you open that up, basically that's the cylinder and the 2 brake lines that come out, and they go down underneath the car. So I had to, you know, cut it to make it fit. I also had to cut this plastic, a little bit of the plastic out in order to get it to fit right. So, you know, we'll just keep this locked up, and it'll just be our little secret, okay? This it's got a few dents, or it's got a few scratches and imperfections in it as well. But other than that, I mean, just looking at it from the outside, it looks good, you know. So I can't argue with that. not too bad. So basically, I got everything in there. I mean, it's all good. Oh, the glove compartment, I don't have the striker for it, so you know, I'm gonna wait on that, obviously. And the steering wheel column cover, I'm gonna wait on that as well. I have both pieces, but I'm gonna wait because I have the light. The one little thing is just this little light right here. And then the light on the other side, I need to get a new bulb. Here's what the bulbs look like. They're little bitty. I'm gonna wait because I'm gonna have to remove that whole assembly again just in order for me to change the little bulb. So yeah, it's kind of a bummer, but I want it to be like, basically whenever I'm done with this car, I want it to be like a brand new car, you know, back in 1986. So that's why I'm trying to be patient and do everything the right way. You know, of course, I will have to do a different stereo system. I'll probably get something a little bit better than the factory version. I don't really know what size that is there. I have a, when I bought the car, the guy gave me a radio kit. What is that? The guy he gave me the radio kit. It has a single DIN stereo and a little, like a little pouch or coin, like a coin slot, you know. But yeah, got my little lighter, and the car doesn't have overdrive. I guess that's probably for an automatic, but I don't have the dummy cover, so I just put the switch in. So I just put that light in there. All right, so I think now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get these seat belts in, bolted up, and then we'll get the seats in. All right, guys, and just like that, we're done. Finally got the dash in. Feels great. It looks good. I'm really happy with it. Obviously, I still have a few more things to do, and about these cracks as well. Right there, you can see. Don't worry, I got things planned for that. Once again, I want to say thank you to all my viewers, and thank you to all my subscribers. I'm up to 410 subscribers. So a year ago, I was at I had 4. I remember when I had 4 subscribers last year. So you know, to multiply that by 100 is great, man. And yes, so you know, I'm glad to have you. I'm glad to have each and every one of you guys joining me, and gals, because I do have a few ladies according to YouTube statistics. So if you're a lady out there, you know, I appreciate you as well. And basically that's it for now. We still got a lot more to do. I got to get these seats in. I got to let's see what else. We're gonna do the whole front suspension and rear suspension. Hang in there, guys, and we will see you next time. Thank you.
Hey